One of the things that you can do, there's another question I always get, Candace, what can I do? You know, you have a platform. First and foremost, if you're thinking, Candace is a platform, so it's easier for her to say things, you're right, now it is, but 5 years ago, I was you. I was a person that had nothing but something to say, right? And I created my own platform on YouTube. And I always say to people in every room that you have to remember that it is what you do individually, decisions that you make individually that are going to transform this country. It is the businesses that you stand behind, the products that you buy, the things that you tweet. Not everybody is the same person. I'm not saying everybody should go be me on Twitter and trend for 3 years because you just can't stop calling the left out on their BS, right? But we are in a cultural war. And in every type of a war, you have to figure out what you can contribute. Maybe you are a fighter like me. Maybe you are a front line fighter like me. Maybe you are willing to go out and to be smeared and to be libeled and to lose your friends like me. But maybe you're somebody else. Maybe you're a writer. Maybe you're a person who wants to write, who wants to create a website, who wants to get together a bunch of journalists, a bunch of patriots to write the actual truth. Maybe that's who you are. Battles and wars need those people as well, right? Maybe you're the person who's got so much money, it would be so easy for you to just finance the war, right? To sit back and say, I don't want to get my hands dirty, but let me stand behind some people that are willing to fight. I'll never forget that when I was on YouTube, when I started my channel, there was a man who lived in San Diego who reached out to me after I made my first video. I had quit my job, and I had no idea beyond 3 months how I was going to be able to survive and pay my bills, but I knew I had to start saying something. And a man in San Diego reached out to me and said, I really believe in you, kid. I want to give you $5,000. What that $5,000 meant for me was that I could keep the lights on and I could keep fighting, right? Think about that. For him, it was nothing. It was a drop in the bucket, but he found somebody who was saying something and he was doing something, and he wanted to sponsor that individual. There are people that are like this in this room. I know that. Maybe you stand behind the organizations. Maybe it's you that gets people to run in elections. Because let me tell you something. For all the fighting that's happening in DC, it is the local elections that matter the most. Run for the school board, right? We never hear these discussions being had, but we need to start thinking about the local elections. We need to start thinking about how we are going to make sure that this poison does not make it into the classrooms. We need to start making sure that the state houses are doing everything they can to clean up these elections, because let me tell you, if mail-in ballots are the way of the future, you can say goodbye to America.
Right.
Full stop. I am not an extraordinary person. I'm not. And I make such a point to make sure people in every room understand that. I'm an ordinary person who is doing extra things right now, because every ordinary person should be doing extra things right now in America. I had a baby 4 months ago, 16 weeks. And it's so funny because I remember sitting down with Ali Stuckey, who's a podcaster, and talking to her on my show. And she had just had a child, and she said, oh, motherhood softens you in all the right ways, and I can't wait for everybody to have a child. She's like, even AOC, I want her to have a child. She said this. And she said, because things change when you have a child, and your perspectives change when you have a child, and you become softened. And I was so excited when I got pregnant because I was waiting to get softened, and lo and behold, it hardened me. And it hardened me because suddenly I look at my child and I look at him and I think, is he going to grow up in the same America I'm going to grow up in? Suddenly the fight is a lot more serious for me, right? Before it's a political perspective, now it's my child's future. Is my child going to have to think that this is normal?